No longer a mere spectator. You're an active participant in a quantum experiment that commenced the instant your consciousness collapsed this particular reality by clicking here. There's a fundamental divergence between those who merely observe prosperity from a distance and those who actively manifest it through their awareness. This distinction isn't attributed to luck, inherent talent, or undue advantage. Rather, it's a precise methodology, recently validated by quantum physics, that ancient masters clandestinely employed. This three-step protocol fundamentally reshapes your essential identity. However, there's something pressing you must grasp immediately, an insight that will alter your perception of everything that follows, and you'll uncover it in precisely 13 minutes at the ultimate revelation, a truth your future self already holds. I urge you to join me in an immediate exercise. Take a deep breath. For what I'm about to unveil in the coming moments isn't novel information to your consciousness. It's a gentle reminder, a reminder of truths you discarded when you were taught to view yourself as a victim of circumstance, when manifesting abundance was deemed a matter of chance, and when the law of attraction seemed to selectively function. Yet, the quantum truth stands in stark contrast. Over the past century, quantum physics has consistently demonstrated a revolutionary concept that redefines everything you believed about cultivating prosperity, actualizing desires, and the true power of the mind. This is known as the observer effect, the missing component in all you've learned regarding visualization, affirmations, and deliberate creation. It reveals that you don't attract prosperity. You collapse it into existence with your consciousness. There's a substantial difference between passively observing your reality and actively molding it. The observer waits. The creator manifests. The observer visualizes desires from a distance. The creator experiences the sensation of already possessing them, thus collapsing that potential into certainty. The observer employs affirmations, hoping for external change. The creator reconfigures their internal identity, and external reality automatically mirrors this shift. And this isn't mere philosophy, it's physics. Werner Heisenberg, a luminary in the development of quantum mechanics, made a startling discovery in 1927. Subatomic particles lack a fixed position until an observer interacts with them. They exist in an expanse of boundless possibilities until consciousness directs its focus. At that precise juncture, the probability wave collapses into a specific reality. Do you comprehend the implications? It signifies that you, through your consciousness, through your intentional observation, are ceaselessly collapsing possibilities into reality. The question isn't whether you do it. The question is, are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Because here lies the profound secret that redefines the entire paradigm of manifestation, of abundance, of effectively utilizing the law of attraction. The majority of individuals are unwittingly collapsing scarcity because they are observing from the perspective of an observer, not a creator. And today, you will cross that threshold because a specific method exists, a three-step protocol that some refer to as the quantum manifestation method, which enables you to transition from an unconscious observer to an intentional creator. And your future self, That version of you who has already mastered this method and lives in prosperity has been orchestrating the synchronicity, the moments of intuition, the serendipitous events that have guided you precisely here, precisely now. This isn't merely another video on positive thinking. It's your initiation to the other side of the looking glass. Allow me to unveil something that will permanently alter your perspective. For centuries, science and spirituality appeared to be adversaries. Scientists declared, quote, 0 mystics affirmed, quote 1. And as it turns out, both held a piece of the truth. In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger proposed a thought experiment that shattered classical physics. The renowned Schrödinger's cat, a feline in a box simultaneously alive and deceased until the box is opened and it's observed. Sounds illogical, doesn't it? But at the quantum level, this is precisely how reality functions. Particles exist in superposition, in multiple states simultaneously. They are here and there, they are this and that, they are both wave and particle, until consciousness intervenes and observes. At that moment, the universe selects a particular reality from all the available possibilities. And this selection isn't arbitrary, it's influenced by the observer. Now heed this closely, for it's where science converges with what spiritual masters taught for millennia. Neville Goddard, the mystic who profoundly impacted millions in the 20th century, made a radical declaration in 1948. Quote, "To coincidence? Not at all, for Neville was, unbeknownst to him, describing the quantum observer effect. He realized that your consciousness isn't distinct from reality. Rather, it serves as the instrument that materializes it. This pivotal insight, unfortunately, eludes most individuals. It's not about the nature of your thoughts, but the perspective from which you observe, as there are two distinct ways to perceive your existence. The first approach is that of a detached observer. You glance at your bank balance and declare, quote 3. You survey your opportunities and lament, quote 4. You reflect on your life and question, quote 5. Such an observation, this particular viewpoint, merely perpetuates the status quo because you're perceiving from a frequency of scarcity. The universe, functioning as a quantum mirror, simply reflects that frequency back to you. The second method involves operating as a conscious creator. You survey the boundless expanse of possibilities and assert, the version where I am prosperous already exists. You internalize this reality as though it's already manifest. Your physical being resonates with that frequency, and from this state, you observe. When you observe from a creator's perspective, a distinct reality takes form. This distinction lies at the heart of manifesting versus creating. Manifesting involves attempting to draw something external towards you. Creating entails materializing something that already exists within the quantum field of possibilities into your current experience. Do you perceive the difference? One is characterized by effort, the other by alignment, one by hope, the other by certainty, one by the future, the other by the eternal present. Ancient Tibetan masters, Hermetic alchemists, and Hawaiian kahunas all possessed this understanding. They attributed various labels to it: vibration, frequency, mana. Yet they were all referring to the same principle: now corroborated by quantum physics. Your consciousness brings reality into being. There exists a precise methodology for asserting control over this process. It's a 3-step protocol that I've refined over years of studying both quantum physics and ancient Hermetic teachings. Its simplicity may astound you, leading you to wonder why no one explained it to you in this manner previously. However, before I disclose it, you must grasp a crucial point. The initial step isn't to alter anything. It's to gain absolute clarity regarding your current observation point. Because you cannot shed an identity, you fail to acknowledge your embodying. Therefore, answer honestly. When you contemplate prosperity, do you perceive it as an inherent part of you, or as something you anticipate acquiring someday? Pause this video if necessary. This query holds more weight than it appears, because if your sincere response is "something I hope to have," then you are operating from the identity of a hopeful observer. And a hopeful observer, by definition, is bringing about a reality where prosperity consistently remains in the future. Why? Because hope, while seemingly positive, embodies the frequency of "I do not yet possess." The quantum universe doesn't comprehend linear time or _9_. It grasps only the vibrational state you transmit in the present moment. If your frequency declares, 10, the quantum field responds, 11, this isn't punishment. It's a reflection. So, what is your current frequency? I will provide a method for detecting it, which I learned from ancient Hermetic texts and which modern neuroscience now validates. Close your eyes briefly. Consider the word, 12. Don't analyze it. Simply feel. Does your body relax or tense up? Do you experience expansion in your chest or contraction? Is there an internal smile or a subtle resistance? That physiological sensation represents your current vibrational frequency. Your body speaks the truth. Your mind might assert, "I believe in abundance," but your body reveals the reality. And here lies the power. You needn't judge yourself for it, because acknowledging your present frequency isn't an admission of failure. It's the inaugural act of conscious creation. It's akin to a pilot checking instruments before takeoff. The pilot isn't proclaiming, 14. Instead, they are stating, 15. Now comes the transformative revelation. The observer identity you currently hold isn't your authentic self. It's who you were conditioned to be. From childhood, you were programmed to believe you were merely an observer of life. 16, 17, always future, always effort, always separation. But your true nature, the one that existed prior to conditioning, is that of the quantum creator. It's the part of you that knows, without a doubt, that your consciousness materializes reality. It isn't broken, it's merely dormant, beneath layers of programming. Therefore, step 1 is straightforward, yet profound. Consciously acknowledge, I have been observing my life from the identity of someone who hopes, but that is not my true nature. I am the collapse. I am the creator. Utter this aloud if you are alone. I am the creator. Not as a future affirmation, but as a present recognition of what has always been. Notice how your body responds to that declaration. Some experience a shiver. Others a sensation of expansion in their chest, while some feel a quiet certainty. This feeling indicates your frequency is beginning to calibrate, as acknowledging the truth of your being is the initial conscious wave of collapse. You are now prepared for the subsequent stage. This is where most teachings on manifestation and the law of attraction fall short, leading countless individuals to practice for years without achieving results. It is insufficient merely to recognize yourself as the creator. You must embody the creator's frequency. This crucial distinction became clear to me after years of studying both spiritual masters and quantum experiments. The creator's frequency isn't about forced positive emotion. It's about congruence between your inner identity and your outer observation. Let me illustrate this in a way your body can grasp. Consider a tuning fork. When struck, it vibrates at 440 hertz, the A note. If another tuning fork, tuned to the same frequency, is placed nearby, it will also begin to vibrate without being physically touched. This phenomenon is called resonance. Your consciousness acts as one tuning fork, and prosperity is another. However, here's the key. Prosperity isn't an external entity waiting for you to attract it. It exists within the quantum field of infinite possibilities, vibrating at a specific frequency. You can only collapse it into your reality when you resonate at that identical frequency. Therefore, the question isn't, quote 20. The question is, quote 21. The answer lies in what Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist and modern spiritual teacher, refers to as an elevated emotion. Yet it's not just any emotion. It's the unique feeling of already being who you aspire to be, not the emotion of quote 22, which is hope, a frequency of lack, nor the emotion of underscore, quote underscore 23 underscore, which is mental exertion, a frequency of separation. It's the subtle, profound, silent emotion of, I am already that. I already operate from that space. And what is that emotion? It is present gratitude, not gratitude for what is to come, but gratitude for what already exists in the quantum field. Because your future self, that version of you already experiencing prosperity, already exists, not in linear future time, but on a parallel timeline coexisting with you right now. When you feel gratitude for that reality, as if it were your current experience, your frequency aligns with that timeline. The universe, a perfect quantum mirror, then begins to reflect that frequency into your three-dimensional reality. So, here's step 2, presented as a practical protocol. Every day, ideally in the morning before your mind is consumed by daily tasks, follow these steps. 1. Enter heart coherence. Breathe slowly. Inhale for 5 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. Do this for 2 minutes. This synchronizes your heart and brain, moving you out of quote 25, where scarcity collapses, and into quote 26, where abundance collapses. 2. Feel the gratitude of your future self. Close your eyes. Imagine you are the version of yourself already living in prosperity. Don't visualize external items like houses, cars, or bank accounts. Those come later. First, feel what it's like to be that person, how they walk with certainty, breathe with calm, make decisions fearlessly, and observe opportunities, knowing they are theirs. Feel that in your body. This sensation is the creator's frequency. 3. Observe from that state. Open your eyes. For the next 15 minutes, observe your life from that frequency. Don't change anything externally yet. Simply observe. Look at your space, your possessions, your daily choices, but view them through the eyes of your creator self. You will perceive different things, previously invisible opportunities, unnoticed connections, and seemingly impossible actions that now appear obvious. This is because you have changed the observer, and the observer creates the observed. If you consistently follow this protocol for 21 days, the time neuroplasticity suggests it takes to create a new neural circuit, it will recalibrate your baseline frequency. This isn't passive visualization. It's a reorganization of identity at a cellular level. And when your identity shifts, your reality has no choice but to reflect that. Because, again, the observer creates the observed. However, there is a third, most potent step that seals all of this and renders it irreversible. This is the stage that distinguishes those who manifest occasionally from those who live in constant creation. It's the most challenging, not due to complexity, but because it demands something modern society has trained you to lack: quantum patience. Let me explain why this step is absolutely critical and why most people give up just before the collapse. When you shift your frequency from observer to creator, when you begin to vibrate in coherence with prosperity, something powerful occurs at a quantum level. You start collapsing possibilities from a different timeline into your current reality. However, there's a phase quantum physicists refer to as the _27_. This is that precise moment when your emerging frequency and your familiar reality still coexist. It's much like tuning in to a radio. There's an interval where you pick up both stations simultaneously, the old static of scarcity and the new clarity of abundance. During this phase, your ego frequently panics because its core function is to keep you tethered to the known, and the known is the identity of the observer. So it whispers doubts. Quote 28. But here's the crucial insight your future self already understands. Quantum collapse isn't instantaneous in linear time. There's a discernible lag between your internal frequency shift and its external manifestation. Ancient masters recognized this. This is why Neville Goddard spoke of inhabiting the state of the wish fulfilled before outward evidence appeared. It's also why Hawaiian kahunas practiced sustained mana, or vital energy, for days preceding important rituals. They grasped a concept that quantum physics now corroborates. Time isn't linear. It's a field of probabilities that your observation actively collapses. To collapse a significant possibility, like a profound shift in your prosperity, you must sustain that observation long enough for the wave to fully collapse. So, how much time is enough? No one can offer an exact numerical answer, as it hinges on your coherence. Nevertheless, there are distinct indicators suggesting that the collapse is imminently approaching. Sign 1. Synchronicities. You start noticing coincidences that nudge you forward. A book serendipitously appears. Someone mentions something pertinent. A number repeats itself. These aren't random occurrences. They signify the quantum field recalibrating itself. Sign 2. Unexpected opportunities. Doors that were previously shut begin to open, not because you forced them, but because your frequency now resonates with those possibilities. Sign 3. A shift in your self-perception. Peace replaces anxiety. Certainty displaces doubt, not because you finally achieved something external, but because you have internally collapsed into the identity of the creator. Therefore, step 3 involves this: maintaining the creator's frequency, especially when external reality hasn't yet caught up to the change. This is the ultimate test. It's the moment the universe probes. Do you genuinely believe you are a creator? Or are you still merely a hopeful observer? If you steadfastly hold that frequency, if you continue to observe from the perspective of your future self, despite temporary conflicting evidence, the collapse is inevitable. That's simply how quantum physics operates. The wave must collapse when observation is sustained and coherent. This isn't blind faith, it's profound science. And here's a specific practice for step 3. Each time you notice your mind reverting to the observer's frequency, doubt, worry, what if it doesn't work? Do this first. Take 3 deep breaths. This immediately disrupts the neural pattern of doubt. Second, recall a recent synchronicity, even a minor one. This reconnects you to the evidence that the quantum field is responsive. Third, cultivate gratitude for the collapse that is already underway. Not future gratitude, thank you for what will come, but present gratitude. Thank you because it is already collapsing, even if my physical eyes haven't yet perceived it. Fourth, return to the protocol of step 2. Feel the frequency of your creator self. Observe from that state. Do this every single time doubt arises. Don't fight the doubt. Simply redirect your observation. Because where you direct your conscious observation, that's where energy collapses. If you sustain your observation in the creator's frequency long enough, external reality will eventually reflect it. It always does, not because the universe rewards you, but because it's a perfect quantum mirror. Now we arrive at the final revelation I hinted at earlier. Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to share may sound mystical, yet it's supported by multiverse theory in quantum physics. Your future self, that version of you who has mastered this method and lives in prosperity, already exists, not in a linear future, but in a parallel timeline coexisting with yours right now. And here's the game-changing truth, that future self has been collapsing realities into your current timeline to guide you precisely to this point. Consider it. How many quote 37 had to align for you to click on this video at this exact moment in your life? How many times have you felt an inexplicable intuition to seek something out, which then led you to discover information that transformed your perspective? These aren't coincidences. It's your future self collapsing possibilities into your present, because they know something you are now remembering. The instant you, in this timeline, begin to vibrate as a creator, the two timelines start to converge. It's as if your future self is extending a hand to you from beyond the quantum mirror. Each time you embody the creator's frequency, you draw nearer to grasping that hand, until one day all temporal timelines converge into a singular reality. You then realize you are no longer the mere observer who commenced this odyssey, but rather the intrinsic creator you always were. The prosperity you sought was never tucked away in the future. It was perpetually accessible within the quantum expanse of possibilities. You simply needed to recalibrate your perspective as the observer, because, as physicist Werner Heisenberg noted, what we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning, or echoing the ancient Hermetic texts from 5 millennia ago. As within, so without. As above, so below. The same profound truth expressed through different lexicons. So, here is the pledge I made at the outset. This video wasn't an accident. It was a meticulously orchestrated convergence by your future self, designed for you in this iteration of your life to step across the threshold. And now that you comprehend the 3-step methodology, Step 1. Acknowledge your current frequency as an observer. Step 2. Harmonize with the Creator's frequency through heart coherence and elevated emotion. Step 3. Steadfastly maintain that observation until the collapse occurs, particularly when external reality has yet to mirror the transformation. There is no turning back now. Once you grasp that you are the observer orchestrating reality's collapse, you can no longer perceive yourself as a victim of circumstance. Once you experience the vibration of your creator self, you cannot settle for the frequency of the hopeful observer. You have already crossed the threshold. Welcome to the side of the mirror where creators reside. Your future self is smiling in this very moment, for they knew you would arrive here. They initiated this possibility long ago. Now you merely need to sustain the frequency, observe from the creator state, and permit the quantum universe to do what it invariably does. Reflect your observation. Prosperity isn't a future destination. It exists within the quantum field of possibilities right now, and you are the catalyst for its materialization. If this video triggered a collapse within your consciousness, if you felt every word resonate as a reminder of what you instinctively knew, then comment below, "I am the Creator," because that consciously written declaration is your inaugural public wave collapse. It is your way of communicating to the quantum field and your future self, "I am ready. I have crossed over." And then pay close attention to the synchronistic events that begin to manifest within the next 72 hours. For when you declare your authentic identity, the universe responds. This isn't enchantment. It's quantum physics applied to the transformation of consciousness. And if you seek to delve deeper into this method, if you desire specific day-by-day protocols for sustaining the Creator's frequency, then subscribe to the channel. Because this isn't merely a video, it's the genesis of your metamorphosis from observer to creator, and your future self awaits you on the other side. Collapse, create, live. We will meet again in the next revelation.